I'm really tired of some of you people. I mean, I've been hearing for years, I'm for immigration so long as they get in line. They've got to follow a legal process. But you don't really mean it. I'm Jim Babka. This is Instant Grace, a mini version of Gracearchy with Jim Babka. Have you heard the phrase, let the punishment fit the crime? This is one of the oldest legal concepts we have. You can find it in the book of Exodus. You can find it in the works of Cicero, or you can understand it in an observable way. We call it the natural principle of human respect, and it says that anytime violence is initiated against someone, their happiness, their harmony, and their prosperity will decline, always. Violence initiated against them diminishes happiness, harmony, and prosperity. That is a natural cause and effect principle, like holding up this pen and letting it go. We all know where it's going to go. It's going to go down. That's the principle of gravity. This is the principle, the natural principle of human respect. So I want you to keep that natural principle in mind as I tell you the story of Maria de Jesus Estrada Juarez. Maria is 42 years old. She lives in Sacramento and works as a regional manager for Motel 6. She oversees locations across California and Oregon. This is someone with a lot of responsibility. She came to the United States from Mexico when she was 15. She's been here for 27 years. Maria has a 22-year-old daughter named Damaris, who was born here and is herself a U.S. citizen. Maria, for her part, is a DACA recipient. DACA means that the government knows she is here, and DACA is not some loophole. It means discretion. It means that person is here with permission, and the government has promised not to pursue removal. In fact, Maria's had her DACA status updated 5 times. 5 times. Now, our immigration law allows people to become U.S. citizens if they have a sponsor who is a citizen, who is 21 years of age or older, and an immediate family member. Remember Damaris, now 22? So when Damaris turned 21 last year, she and Maria started the process and had a green card appointment last week. Maria did her hair and her makeup, and she brought a white binder with her. The binder included tax returns, her high school diploma, vaccination records, every document she thought of that the government could possibly need. 27 years of her life, documentation showing every major milestone of her time in the United States. She was doing everything right. During the application interview, a federal agent walked up to her, told her to stand up and put cuffs on her. This is the moment I want to focus in on. Maria described it as humiliating. By the next morning, she was in Mexico. Did the punishment fit the crime? Maria voluntarily walked into that building. When agents approached her, she didn't run. She didn't resist. But she said, I never felt so humiliated in my life. I felt like the most wanted criminal in the United States. I want you to think about the last time a parking meter ran out while your car was sitting at the curb. You weren't doing anything dangerous. You weren't a threat to anyone. You were simply somewhere you weren't supposed to be anymore. The officer didn't wait for you to come back. He didn't restrain you. He left a piece of paper on your windshield and he moved on because that was the response that the situation called for. So what happened to Maria wasn't proportionate, and proportionality matters, not just as a matter of decency, but as a matter of principle. If we go back to that natural principle of human respect, we can say with confidence that force that exceeds what a situation requires isn't enforcement. It's a violent message that destroys happiness. Now, the government has an answer for their behavior. The people that work for the government always conjure such things. DHS says that Maria had a removal order from 1998, issued when she was a 15-year-old crossing the border. They say she received full due process, and they also claim she illegally re-entered the country after that order. For Maria's part, she says she was never before a judge. She never heard about any removal order. Not when she applied for DACA, not when she renewed it, not through any of the years she spent building her American life. And here's the detail that makes the government's argument so particularly difficult to sustain. In 2014, the federal government granted Maria advance parole to visit her sick mother in Mexico. Advance parole. This is an official permission slip to leave the country and lawfully re-enter. So you cannot simultaneously claim that someone is subject to a decades-old removal order and grant them permission to re-enter the country. You can't say that. These two things can't simultaneously be true. Now, a lot of people are going to think that Maria got what she had coming to her. If she had just come the right way, whatever that is, none of this would have happened. That we're a nation of laws. Maria did use the legal process. She applied for DACA. She obtained advance parole before coming back. And her daughter, Damaris, had turned 21. She was applying for permanent residency through proper channels. She showed up to the appointment they scheduled for her in the building they told her to go to with every document they asked her to bring and more in a white binder. If that's not coming here legally, then what is? Maria got in line, and when she finally got to the front, it turns out she was being led into a trap. But we can go one step further here since we know this natural principle of human respect. And we could say that she shouldn't have even been subject to such a thing. She shouldn't have been subject to it. I mean, if you're pursuing your happiness in life, how many of you would put an appointment at a federal government building where you had to file a bunch of forms, bring a bunch of documents? How many of you would consider that a good time? Something that is enhancing and making you more prosperous, more happy? You wouldn't. Such a process wouldn't exist. Motel 6 has employed this woman to oversee locations in California and Oregon. I don't know if she's got a loan or for a mortgage on her home, or she's renting, but she's living somewhere, and they agreed to let her have that. We don't have any evidence here that she's any kind of threat at all to society. But handcuffs were put on her, and worse, she shouldn't have even had to go through this process. It's an indignity against a real human being, and we should want to do better. We should want to do a whole lot better. We should want to practice human respect.